1 million years ago, this area here was covered in ice. But with the end of the Ice Age and the retreat of the glaciers, we were left with this, Yosemite National Park. We're here about 260 kilometres east of San Francisco, about 5 hours drive. And this national park has to be about the world's most popular. In summer, as many as 14,000 people can stream into Yosemite in one day. And yet, through imaginative and careful management, the 500 staff rangers are still able to preserve a feeling of solitude and wilderness.
People come in here and see these tall granite cliffs surrounding us, and of course the waterfalls in the springtime really attract a lot of people. We do have about 10 of the highest waterfalls here in the world, so it makes a real spectacular scenery. We have about 800 miles worth of trails, so you can really escape the city life. People come up here to climb. These granite cliffs are known throughout the world for some of the best climbing available in the world here. And let's see, they can come up here and go swimming, horseback riding. In the wintertime we have skiing. So there's a lot of outdoor activities that they participate in while they're here.
They come from nearby San Francisco, Los Angeles, from London, Tokyo, and Australia. 3 million every year.
I've been here about 30 times. I've lived in California 11 years and I think it's a beautiful park.
What about for youngsters then? What's the big appeal and the attraction for them here?
For him, he just likes to be outdoors and he loves to go camping, so there's a lot of rocks for him to climb and dirt to play with and animals to see, deer and squirrels and raccoons.
Have you seen any bears yet?
We did last night.
We had one come to our campground and rob our cooler last night.
Is that right?
Ate our eggs, orange juice, all our hamburgers and everything.
Really?
Yeah. All we could do is just sit and watch them.
For rock climbers, these faces are the holy of holies. Every imaginable degree of difficulty is available here.
El Capitan is very much, as you get up above where they are, is very much overhanging, which means when they look up, they're not seeing the sky, they're seeing the rock up above them. It's much more so than you can picture from here when you're flat against the rock.
So how are they working their way up with that overhang?
There's bolt ladders where they hook into them and stand into gear, and then hook into the next one and stand into gear.
A detachment of US cavalry troops were the first white people to enter this wilderness. They were after an Indian raiding party. And ever since Europeans first walked into this pristine valley, it's a place that's attracted its share of characters. Rusty Rust has been the postmaster at Yosemite for over 40 years. He was born here. His father ran the stagecoach line into Yosemite in the early days. Just about everyone who visits the park sends a postcard home through his post office. And that makes for a lot of postcards each day.
Oh, this time of year, which is supposed to be our low season, probably 10 or 15,000, but that'll double in the summertime, certainly. All over the world.
If you don't want to explore Yosemite's remoter corners on foot, living out of a rucksack, you can stay in the lodges dotted through the small village. Awani Lodge, built in 1923, has played hosts to presidents, kings and queens. Nick Fiore managed the place for a while, then returned to the upper slopes and his first love, skiing.
I became the ski school director in 1956. Prior to that, I was a ski instructor, and I've been affiliated with the school ever since that date. I'm up there every day, 7 days a week, and teaching people, overseeing the ski instructor, and making sure that everybody has a good experience in Yosemite.
40 years, it's a long time. How many people have you taught to ski?
Quite a few, probably myself, I don't know, 70, 80,000.
Yosemite's famous redwoods or giant sequoias, the largest trees in the world. Early loggers thought they had struck gold with such vast amounts of timber. While many were cut out, the preservation of redwoods was a result of the timber itself. When a giant sequoia is felled, the short-grained timber actually shatters, making it almost useless for milling. And so this fine grove stands, protected within the park. It was probably around the time when the pharaohs were ruling Egypt that this giant sequoia took root. In the first 18 months, It doubled its size, just a small green sapling. But then it took another 2,700 years for it to reach the majestic height of around 90 metres. North American naturalist John Muir described Yosemite as having the most songful streams in the world, the noblest forests, the loftiest granite domes, the deepest ice-sculptured canyons, and snowy mountains soaring into the sky.
Of course, being so popular, we're getting a lot of people coming and trampling across the meadows. Littering is a problem here. Feeding the wildlife. People tend to come here and think they can feed the deer and the squirrels and the birds while they're here, and that really influences the wildlife in a negative way. And so we have a lot of education to try to help the public understand how we need their help in managing Yosemite and keeping it as natural as possible.